What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. As you well know, we got a whole lot of stuff going on in the world right now. We got Israel, we got Ukraine, we got leftists causing an insurrection at the Capitol. Holy crap, it's going down, man. There's all kinds of craziness going on, man. These people stormed into the fucking Capitol and started protesting. There was some arrests and there was all kinds of crap going on. It's kind of crazy. I didn't read any stories. I just kind of heard about it, so I don't really know about that. I'll cover that whenever I get a chance. But there's just so much stuff going on right now. Biden is supposed to make an address tomorrow requesting, I've heard unconfirmed reports. I've heard two different reports, in other words. One of them states he's going to request $60 billion. The other one states it's going to be upwards of $100 billion. And it's two packages, one for Ukraine and one for Israel. Now, the one story talking about the $60 billion was $50 billion to Ukraine and $10 billion to Israel. Now, I totally disagree with both of those. I don't think we need to send any billions of dollars to anywhere. I mean, honestly, in my personal opinion, you want to send relief like that $100 million Biden's given to Gaza. If he's just giving out cash, that is completely wrong, and I totally disagree with that, and I disavow that totally. But if he's sending over there like water, medical supplies, food, stuff like that, yes, they need it. Those people over there need it. But if you're going to send like cash plus supplies, I can't really get down with that, man. When you say you're sending $100 million over there, my immediate thought is you're giving them money. If you're going to send supplies, say that. Don't say you're giving them money. It's like with Ukraine, sending all these billions of dollars over there. I know a lot of that is military aid, bullets, rockets, missiles, tanks, stuff like that. But if we're paying for these people's pensions and their salaries, I don't think we need to be doing that. Like I said before, I would much rather pay money to Israel before Ukraine. Those are two totally different situations. But like I said, in my honest opinion, I don't think Israel needs anything from that. If we want to send replenishments for their Iron Dome system, you won't hear a peep out of me. That's totally defensive. I don't think we need to be helping anybody with offensive stuff. I don't know, man. It's just this kind of crap gets the hell out of me, because if we were in a better place as a country, if the United States didn't have so many problems at home, you wouldn't hear nothing out of me, man. I wouldn't say anything. But we have food prices through the freaking roof. Gas prices are still high. We've got banks failing all over the place. The economy does not look like it's in a good position. There's all kinds of people that are predicting a recession. And we are sending $100 billion to the other side of the world to handle their problems. I don't think we need to be doing that. Like I said, you want to send some relief? Let's send some relief. I'm all for that. You want to send some people over there to go help out medically? I might even volunteer to do something like that. But just sending money over there, just shit don't make no damn sense. Oh, and by the way, Jim Jordan is back into the race. I don't know if you guys heard, but yesterday he was backing down, saying, "Look, we're gonna put this thing on hold and let Patrick McHenry be the interim or pro tempore speaker until like January." But they had a vote on it this afternoon, and apparently that's not going to happen. They're going to go ahead and just work this out. And I applaud, my hat goes off to Congress. They need to get this worked out as quickly as possible. We have aid to send to Ukraine and Israel, right? But on a side note, I got this interesting story that kind of blew my mind. I wasn't going to cover it. I was going to cover a different story. But when this one came up, I was like, holy crap, there's a lot of implications in this. There's a whole lot again. I'm not sure how I feel. You might see me change my opinion in real time because, like I said, I don't know how I feel about this. So before we go any further, let's get into it. Democratic senators introduced bill establishing Supreme Court term limits. Now, that is very interesting because Congress doesn't have term limits, which also means senators don't have term limits. How the hell are you going to have a legislative body impose term limits over another body of government? We were supposed to have separation of powers. You're not supposed to be able to control the other one. The closest thing we have to that is Congress can pretty much hold up all the other bodies of government because they hold the wallet of the United States. They have the power of the purse. They can just withhold funding from the executive branch or the Supreme Court. I mean, I know it doesn't really work that way, but they do have that power to approve or disapprove of budgets. And I'm sure that's what they do. And they really need to get a hold of those budgets. Yeah, we got some major deficits going on right now. And you know, it was brought up to me the other day about how much debt we incurred over Trump. Yeah, we incurred it. It was like, it's a lot. It's like $7.8 trillion in debt. The crazy thing is most of that debt has incurred over the past 4 administrations. Trump is responsible for a lot of it. That's one of Trump's flaws right there. He dropped the ball with COVID, man. I'm telling you. He didn't do very good with that. And then Biden comes in and exacerbates that problem to a much further extent. He hasn't spent that much money. He hasn't been in office long enough. But when it all comes down to it, Congress controls the money. So if Congress allowed Trump to raise our deficit that much, that's Congress's fault. Not Trump's, and not Biden's, and not Obama's. It's none of their fault because Congress controls the purse. But before I go on another epic rant, let's keep going. As a matter of fact, let's get started. A group of Democratic senators introduced a bill Thursday that would radically change the makeup of the Supreme Court amid ongoing concerns over court ethics and its increasingly conservative makeup. Yep, there it is. They nailed it right off the top. Democrats are worried about the Supreme Court because we have 6 conservatives and only 3 Democratic judges. Now, I know what you might be thinking. These justices should be impartial. Therefore, we should not have Republican justices and Democrat justices. Unfortunately, the world does not work that way, and people are going to have a bias regardless of how hard they are trying to not have a bias. But you're going to have that bias regardless. And Democrats are obviously worried about that because, like I said, we have a majority in the Supreme Court for conservatives, and that to a progressive, or the neo-libs, I guess, is a problem because the Supreme Court holds a lot of power. The Supreme Court holds a lot of power, a lot more power than we give it credit for. But let's keep going like I said, before I get an even longer rant. The legislation would appoint a new Supreme Court justice every 2 years, with that justice hearing every case for 18 years before stepping back from the bench and only hearing a small number of constitutionally required cases. The Supreme Court is facing a crisis of legitimacy that is exacerbated by radical decisions at odds with established legal precedent, ethical lapses of sitting justices, and politicization of the confirmation process, Senator Cory Booker said in a statement. No, that wasn't a completely biased statement either. There is nothing wrong with the legitimacy of the Supreme Court right now. They are just as legitimate as they were 6 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. There's nothing wrong with their legitimacy. It's just the fact that you don't like it, Senator Booker, that we have a conservative majority. That's their only problem. They do not like that whatsoever. And hey, look, I understand. It happens. If we had a progressive majority, conservatives would have a problem with that. But that doesn't mean you get to change the Constitution. Because that would essentially be changing the Constitution. You can't do that. Let's keep going. Like I said, I get on these fucking rants and... Jeez. This crisis has eroded faith and confidence in our nation's highest court. Fundamental reform is necessary to address the crisis and restore trust in the institution. Not true. Only from a progressive perspective is that true. Only the 9 most recently appointed justices would hear appellate cases, which make up a bulk of the court's work. All living justices would participate in a smaller subset of cases under the court's original jurisdiction, such as disputes between states or with foreign officials. The bill was introduced by Senator Booker, Sheldon Whitehouse, Richard Blumenthal, Alex Padilla, and co-sponsored by Mike Horio, Jeff Merkley, Peter Welch, Brian Schatz, and that's it. Calls for Supreme Court reform grew louder this year after ProPublica revealed that Justice Clarence Thomas received hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of perks from conservative political donors. Further investigations have uncovered multiple significant and undisclosed gifts from politically connected friends over his time as a federal judge. Justice Samuel Alito also took a luxury vacation paid for by an influential conservative donor while in the judiciary, another investigation found earlier this year. That last one, I don't really see a problem with that. What the hell? What are they bitching about? A Supreme Court justice taking a vacation with somebody and the other guy paying for it? I don't see a problem with that. Because these justices have plenty of money to take that same vacation if they wanted to and pay for it, and it wouldn't hurt their pocketbook whatsoever. So just because somebody does it for them doesn't mean that that somebody is trying to gain some kind of influence or trying to get them to sway in a certain decision. You know, you would feel, like I say, you would have more confidence in these people that they would do the right thing, like they did with Roe versus Wade. I mean, that whole situation was totally wrong. But let's keep going or go ranting again. The Senate Judiciary Committee advanced a bill earlier this year along party lines that would require the Supreme Court to create and abide by a code of ethics. Unlike lower courts, Supreme Court judges are not beholden to an official ethics code, which is weird. I might agree with that one. Yeah, all judges should abide by an ethics code. The fact that they don't is a little bit odd, but, you know, it is what it is. Alright, I just read this first line. Put your tinfoil hats on right quick. An organized scheme by right-wing special interests to capture and control the Supreme Court, aided by gobs of billionaire dark money flowing through the confirmation process and judicial lobbying, has resulted in an unaccountable court out of step with the American people, White House said in a statement. Once again, biased. Term limits and biennial appointments would make the court more representative of the public and lower the stakes of each justice's appointment while preserving constitutional protection for judicial independence. Wow. See what I mean by put your tinfoil hat on? They got money flowing through these dark ones and lobbyists. Honestly, tell me what you think about this. We should get rid of lobbying outright. That sows so much corruption. We could weed out so much corruption by eliminating the lobbyists. Because these people, they get into Congress and they get into the Senate, and these lobbyists doll them up and do all this and that shit and feed them money to get them to do something. That's where your political power is. Lobbyists have more sway than you or me do. And that is wrong. This government was created by and for the people to be governed by themselves, and it should not be by and for the lobbyists, which lobbyists are people too, but the lobbyists have interests that usually don't coincide with American citizens' interests. Even though these people are American citizens, that doesn't mean that we all agree on the same thing. We need to get these lobbyists out of there. I just thought about that. That it's like I said, it's so much corruption because these people are bought and paid for. It's like Vivek Ramaswamy said about in that first presidential debate. He was the only one up there that wasn't bought and paid for by lobbyists and by super PACs. We should get rid of those too. You want funding for your campaign? Get it from donors. Get it from people. Don't get it from these PACs and these super PACs, these companies that all they do is exist to pay for campaigns. That is totally wrong, in my opinion. And if I was in Congress, I would try to eliminate all this stuff, even though it meant going against my own interest, because I could make a lot of money by doing that. I'm sorry for going on a rant like that, but that kind of crap pisses me off because that's where most of our corruption is. Our corruption lies within the lobbyists, man. And they just do not have the American people's interests in mind when they are paying congressmen and senators and all these government officials this money to do whatever they want to do. No, I'm sorry. Come on, man. We got to stop all that. We need to call our congressmen and see if we can't get some people to go and write up some sort of legislation to get rid of the lobbying influence. It's just crazy in my opinion. And how about the damn senators trying to control the Supreme Court, man? We have separation of powers for a reason. But, let me know what you guys think. Should the Supreme Court have term limits? I don't know how I feel on that one. I kind of like the system how it is. But, I'm saying that because I have mostly conservative values. If I was a liberal, I might be saying the same damn thing. So, you guys let me know what you think in the comment section. Let me know what you think about lobbyists, about separation of powers. What you think about all this money we're sending overseas. And, that's all I got for this one, y'all. But thanks for watching. I sure do appreciate it, man. Don't forget to hit the like button, please. Hitting that like button is more important than watching the whole video. I say that. Watching the whole video outright is pretty important too, but like I said, y'all, thanks for watching. Have a good one and be positive. Peace.